Cinderella, a heart of light. Dawn spills over silver rivers and blooming meadows in a tranquil kingdom. Birds wheel above village roofs as morning chores quietly begin. The castle crowns the horizon, distant yet watchful and bright. Whispers of kindness ripple through ordinary life across the realm. Cinderella scrubs the stone floor as warm firelight flickers. Her hands are reddened yet steady, the work practiced and precise. A quiet kitchen breathes with order, warmth, and humble care. Her gaze drifts to the window where dust motes shimmer like stars. The stepmother commands from the landing, posture rigid and precise. Behind the banister, the stepsisters lounge, idly discarding ribbons. Cinderella listens below, clutching the bucket as orders rain down. Grand rooms contrast with a worn hem trailing through the light. Linens billow like sails as Cinderella pins them to the line. She pauses, watching clouds drift across a boundless summer sky. A private wish softens her eyes as a noon bell hums from afar. Work resumes, but the wish lingers like sunlight on white cloth. Dusk settles as Cinderella finishes the last of the washing up. She steps to the window and looks out at a velvet, star-strewn sky. A vow leaves her lips. One day, her life will shine as bright as the stars. The quiet kitchen holds her promise, warm as embers, clear as night. A golden trumpet blares as villagers turn toward the banner. By order of the king, there will be a grand ball. Excitement ripples, gasps, smiles, and quick whispers spread. Whispers race like sunlight over water. News reaches every ear. The decree hangs in the air, promising a night of wonder. Silken ribbons whirl as the room bursts with frantic vanity. A brush in hand, Cinderella tends, while laughter brushes her aside. Ribbons tangle, tempers flare, colors are never quite perfect. Quietly, she stitches a loose ribbon, mending more than fabric. Her kindness holds the room together, even as it overlooks her. Soft lights gather among hedges as a gentle presence nears. A serene figure steps from the glow and asks why she weeps. Cinderella shares her sorrow. The fairy listens with patience. The fairy promises that kindness deserves a doorway to joy. Sparkles rise in the air as the first stir of magic awakens. The wand arcs, shimmering motes, sweep across the sleeping garden. A plump pumpkin quivers, then stretches into a golden carriage. Tiny mice brighten, reshaping into elegant white horses. Cinderella covers her mouth, wonder blooming in her eyes. The garden seems to breathe as the night blooms with wonder. Another graceful flick sends a ribbon of light towards Cinderella. Torn fabric smooths and flows, silver blue like moonlit water. She turns, breath catching as dignity returns to her frame. The garden reflects starlight across the gown's flowing sheen. She breathes again, seeing herself renewed beneath the stars. The fairy kneels, touching the air near Cinderella's feet. Crystal forms, delicate yet strong, like captured moonbeams. They fit as if born from her dreams, and she stands taller. The carriage door opens like an invitation to joy. Wonder bright in her eyes, she readies to step inside. Before she departs, a gentle warning stills the crickets. At midnight, the magic will fade, return before the 12th chime. Cinderella nods, gratitude and resolve bright in her eyes. The garden holds its breath as the carriage awaits. With resolve, she steps into the golden night's promise. The golden carriage halts before towering gates gleaming with lantern light. Courtiers whisper as guards bow, and the great doors begin to open. She steps forward with quiet grace, the hall's light drawing her in. At the threshold, a breath then a poised nod before entering the dream. Chandeliers blaze as every gaze turns toward the newcomer. Across the room, the prince turns, arrested by her quiet radiance. Their eyes meet, an unspoken invitation bridges the room. She steps forward and accepts, the hall narrowing to a heartbeat. They begin to glide, the floor turning to moonlit water beneath them. A gentle turn. She smiles, kindness shining through every breath. They cross the hall, courtiers parting as if swept by a tide. A final turn slows. Time softens to the hush between two hearts. Moonlight bathes the balcony as they step into the cool, quiet air. He speaks of seeking goodness. Her quiet laugh answers with hope. A bell nudges the night, Her glance lifts toward the clock tower. A shared quiet, then a tender nod before returning to the hall. Dong, her eyes flare with alarm as the great clock begins to toll. She whispers an apology and turns, gathering her skirt to flee. Down the grand staircase, she races as guests gasp in part. A slipper slips free and spins, catching every shard of light. He calls after her and gives chase, but she vanishes into the night. The golden carriage hurtles down a moonlit lane as distant chimes begin. As the chimes cascade, the wheels wobble and the gold dulls to lifeless bark. With a shudder, the carriage collapses, a pumpkin thudding onto the road. The white horses twitch, turn small, and scatter as quick mice into the verge. Breathless and shaking, Cinderella stands in rags, clutching the lone slipper. In the sunlit hall, the prince raises the lost slipper, resolve bright in his gaze. He commands a search of every home for the one whose foot fits the shoe. Standards lift, boots ring on stone, and the quest sweeps from the palace. Banners ripple outside as the search rides out into the expectant day. A guard arrives, bearing the slipper, on velvet as the household gathers. The stepsisters jostle for the chair, wrinkling noses as the shoe pinches. From the doorway, stepmother scoffs, dismissing Cinderella as a mere servant. The guard replies firmly that every maiden must be given her turn. Cinderella steps forward calmly from the hearth, the room falling still. She sits, offers her foot, and the glass catches a breath of light. It slides on perfectly, like a reflection finding its twin. Gasps break. Faces tilt toward her as certainty blooms in the bright room. Cinderella reaches into her pocket, shyness brightening into quiet courage. She reveals the matching slipper. The room brightens as if the sun leaned closer. Light swirls. Her dress shimmers and reforms into silver blue splendor. At the doorway, the prince appears, recognition shining in his eyes. The prince steps toward Cinderella, the room softening into breathless silence. Their smiles meet like an answer, long awaited, tender, and certain. Around them, relief blooms, quiet grins, and glances shared like blessings. For a moment, even the old house seems to breathe gentler air. Sunlight pours through glass as they stand before the altar, unshaken and sure. They speak their vows, voices steady, promising kindness as their compass. Bells lift the air, petals drift like blessings from unseen balconies. Outside, applause swells as the doors open onto a kingdom at peace. The courtyard holds its breath as apologies tremble on humbled lips. Cinderella lifts them softly, choosing grace over grievance. Witnesses exchange looks. The rarest magic is mercy given freely. The courtyard exhales, warmed by a kindness that changes futures. Lanterns bloom among roses as they walk a path woven with gentle laughter. They speak of a home where gentleness is strength and joy is shared. Stars kindle overhead. The memory of cinders brightens into a path of light. Hand in hand, they step into tomorrow with hearts quiet and bright. The camera lifts to a sky of constellations, the kingdom resting in quiet grace. True beauty shines from a kind heart. Goodness always finds its way home. A single glass slipper gleams in moonlight, a symbol of courage and grace.